Welcome back to another episode of Under the Cosh. Mr. Jonathan Parkin here with me, as always. How are we doing? You alright?
Very well.
No brownie.
No brownie. Otherwise engaged.
Little baby's come along.
Yeah, his missus has just dropped, so we're short of... Actually, we're not really going to fucking miss him, are we? We'll probably get as much input not being here, we aren't. Let's be right about it.
Oh, it's a shame he's not here.
I know, he was looking forward to this one as well.
He was, and only the second goalkeeper to appear on the podcast so far. Should feel honoured.
I do.
I can tell.
Man City, Sheffield Wednesday, Charlton, bit of time in Scotland, probably best known for being the hero of the penalty shootout in that 2000 playoff final for Man City v Gillingham. Nicky Weaver.
How you doing, lads? You alright?
Yeah, good, thanks for coming.
No problem.
I feel like last two we've gone proper 90s, early 2000s nostalgic. It's like my generation of watching football.
Yeah, it's a bit old for me, like.
Yeah.
Bit old for me.
I've been doing my notes in a massive pencil from Tenerife.
What, with rubber on it?
Yeah. With a laser pen.
It's good that you've done some notes, to be fair.
Time at Man City, highlight your career?
Yeah, so, best time of my life. I went there when I was 18. I did my scholarship at, it's apprenticeship it were then, YTS. $39.50 a week and all that. You'll remember that, Parker, won't you?
What's I'm on fucking now?
Yeah, the pay rise then,
I
have you?
remember them days. I'm fucking in them days now.
Yeah. So yeah, I did my 2-year apprenticeship there, and then from nowhere, really, City come and plucked me, which were...
Because you only played one game, haven't you?
Yeah, we're fucking good in though.
Well, it must have fucking been.
No, just played one game. I'd actually left Sheffield Wednesday as a schoolboy, as a 15-year-old, to go to Mansfield, and then...
Sheffield Wednesday fan?
Yeah, so I grew up, so I left there at 15, and then they tried to buy me back at 17.
Was that your choice
to leave? Yeah, but I would have got released because I was going nowhere. I'd had knee problems, I had Osgood slatters. Remember that when you're like growing pains when you're like 14, 15?
I've seen a porno with him in, I think.
Osgood slatter?
I don't think I've seen that one.
I've seen a couple, but I don't think I've seen that one.
I'll just send it you.
But yeah, so I got to move out of Mansfield to City from nowhere really. So yeah, so I went to Man City and it was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. I'd been in the dressing room at Mansfield, they were like 15, 16 pros, they're all just no big hitters really. Yeah. And then you go to Man City, you walk in and it's like, Uwe Rosler and Georgie Kincladze in, you're like, fucking hell.
Because we were a bit of a mess when you got there, weren't it?
A lot of a mess. There were people like Jerry Creaney, Neil Heaney, Scott Hiley, all from, they'd had loads of managers in like 2 years before I come, so it stacks up, doesn't it? And there was something like 53 pros there when I got there. And then Big Joe, he had the task of sort of trying to sort it all out, so you know what it's like. But it was the best thing that could have happened to me, and they got relegated, which was a blessing in disguise for me because it meant,
give you a chance.
Give me a chance, get the sort of the deadwood, if you like, out, the big earners, the ones that have been there on big contracts for a few years, and sort of start from afresh, from sort of like a bit like Sunderland are now, if you like. You've got to try and clear the decks, haven't you, and go from there.
With Joe Royal good for you then?
Brilliant. He's my favourite manager I ever played under.
Yeah.
He come in sort of like February, and the two lads who were playing were Tommy Wright, who's manager of St Johnstone now, and Martin Margetson. He got released at the end of the season, Martin, and it was me and Tommy. So I assumed coming back for pre-season, Tommy would get the nod, and I'd be number 2, which I'd have been happy with,
With that.
Yeah. And anyway, put me straight in, and sort of never looked back. And that first season was just brilliant, and it obviously ended sort of with a Wembley thing. But that season, for Joe to put me in, and I think I played 55 games that year as my first season, and I don't think I ever played that many again in one season.
I think that's the thing with keepers, it's hard to get experience.
It is.
There's only one spot, isn't there?
Yeah, and if other lads doing well and don't get injured, then you've got to wait for your chance. So I'll always be grateful to Big Joe for putting me in, and he looked after me, and he had just a good way about doing things. If he'd had not a great game, he wouldn't really sell it in front of lads, he'd just maybe pull you in weak and put you out and say, don't worry about that, you've been brilliant this year or whatever. And if he'd had a good game, he might not give you too much praise, and he'd just walk past you in corridor in training ground and just sort of give you a little wink and well done Saturday, son, and things like that just meant a lot, and I certainly played my best ever football under Joe, I think.
Yeah. But he old school?
Pretty much, yeah. There weren't much fanning about at the back and all that. It was just,
just get it forward,
get it up there, get it wide and get it in. But, we had 2 back-to-back promotions, which sort of is very, very rare. My first 4 seasons playing went up, down, up. So that's how it were for me. So my first 2 years went up. I'm thinking,
fucking easy this.
This is alright, isn't it? And I remember after the second promotion, Ian Bishop, do you remember Ian Bishop?
Yeah.
Midfielder, great player, Bish, great lad as well. And he sat me down and he's saying, enjoy these times. They don't come around very often and all that. Make sure you enjoy it. I'm thinking, fuck off. What's he like? Fucking dinosaur. This is how it is. And then we went up to Premier League, and we soon come down to a ban. We got relegated, and but it was just fantastic because. I think the City fans now, when they look back, it certainly weren't boring, and I think they still got a few songs they sing about where they were then, the Invisible Man and all that.
And what were you in that playoff final?
I'll be 20. So when I started season 19 and playoff final, I was 20. Yeah.
Were you red on it for that penalty shootout?
What do you mean? Wait a minute. What's a fucking question? Were you red? It's 20-year-old. He's playing at Wembley in the playoff final. Were you red on it? No, he didn't give a fuck.
No, but were you shitting yourself a bit? Or penalty shootout, 20-year-old final. It's on your shoulders as a keeper, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. It's no pressure for keepers, is it? If they don't save it, you don't give them a fucking deal.
There were pressure on us going to Wembley because we're only playing Gillingham. That's probably where they are in it, League 2, League 1, whatever. Obviously, we're City. We had to get out at first attempt. So going into it, there was a lot of pressure, a lot of expectation. We took sort of 40,000 down from Manchester. And we sort of knew we had to win because you know what it's like. If you don't get out at the first attempt, it's hard. It gets harder. Leeds have done it.
A club like City as well.
Yeah, and we were like everybody's scalp. So it's, City coming to town and everyone wants to sort of raise the game. Bit of a cup final, bumper crowd for everybody. Obviously, when we got there,
we're 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go.
2-0 down. Carlos Arbor scored for them on about 82. So you're thinking, fucking hell, here we go. And then Bob Taylor, he scored on like 87. So you're absolutely gone. And then Kev Orlock scored in like 90th minute. And it was a decent finish, to be fair. But the City ended half empty because they'd all gone. Yeah. And so when Kev scored, there weren't really any celebrations from anyone. It was just our consolation and that sort of it. And then biggest thing were, after Kev's goal, Mark Halsey, who was referee, he signalled over to the fourth official there were 5 minutes of injury time. There'd never been 5 minutes. We're about 2 or 3. I got image in my head of Tony Pulis, he was Gillingham manager. He's going fucking mental.
I can imagine.
He's going ballistic on touchline. This footage of it, he's going mad at fourth official and all this. Where's 5 minutes come from and all this? Anyway, and Paul Dickoff, who had missed a few chances that day, it sort of fell to him. And Vince Bartram, who were in their goal, was his best man at his wedding. So, and Vince had made some good saves off Dicky. And he probably thought it weren't going to be his day, and one sort of fell to him, and he slotted it in top corner, and sort of everyone went wild. All City fans then started running back in, and so that's 2-2, and you're like, fucking hell. So extra time sort of come and went, and I can't really remember much about it, and it's like I say, just come and went, and then we're into penalties. So as a keeper, you're thinking, well, I fancy this, and big thing going into penalties were toss of the coin, which end it's going to be. It's going to be at the City end. So no disrespect to the Gillingham players, they weren't sort of big game players.
Yeah.
I must have suddenly looked a bit bigger, and goal must have looked a bit smaller. I managed to save one, first one, which sort of puts them right on the back foot. And people actually forget Paul Dickoff missed his penalty.
Yeah, hit both posts, didn't it?
Hit both posts and come out. So and I spoke to Kevin Orlock recently, who scored so he scored his penalty and scored, and nobody really mentions Kev. Where Dickie missed his penalty but scored the equaliser, and Dickie's sort of famous for that. So I don't think Kev's too happy about it. But it come round to sort of Guy Butters coming up for them, left-sided centre half, and I said to the linesman, if I save this, is that it? He went, yep.
Were it Eddie Pennock?
Eddie Pennock put his wide.
Because he was my manager at Forest Green, and I used to fucking pillock him about it. Anyway, if you have a go at me, I said, shut your fucking shit.
They took 4, they only scored 1. Yeah, I saved 2 and they put 1 wide.
I said, shut up your shit, man, you missed your fucking penalty at Wembley. I said, don't fucking start coming for me.
Did you play much under him?
Yeah, every game. He didn't drop us.
He took it in good spirit then. But and then I said to Lino, if I save this, is that it? He went, yeah. I said, you sure? He went, yeah. Anyway, I saved it, and
that iconic celebration.
Yeah, pulled the face.
Should be on royalties.
I don't know where it come from. I'd never pulled it before. I've never pulled it
run as fast either since, have you?
Megatonic kicked it.
Yeah, and then I waved the lads over, and I sort of had this like electricity running through my body, and I thought I don't want it to end, so I sort of hopped off at advertising boards as I could at Wembley, ran round track, fucking back over, ran round. Big Andy Morrison got hold of me, and I was fucked, let me tell you. And last thing I wanted was a 20-man pile on. That's exactly what happened, and I couldn't get enough I couldn't get any air in my lungs, and I must have been hyperventilating under there. But it would just, looking back now, just brilliant memories and just a great occasion. Every time I still do bits and bobs over at Man City, and every time I go, that's all people want to talk to me about that day. They say, and everyone's got their own little stuff. Well, we left and then we ran back in, and some people got in the car and didn't even turn radio on and got halfway up M6 before they realised what had happened. So everyone's got their own stories, and it was just things couldn't get any worse for us than they were. And that almost the first rung in the ladder to get back into the big time, if you like.
Do you have a good drink after it?
You'll be disappointed, Parky, because I didn't. I was absolutely bollocks.
What, tired?
Oh, I was fucked. I must admit though, afterwards.
I'm surprised you 2 laps of Wembley.
I just didn't know what day it were. I was just bollocks. I made up for it next week or two.
I can imagine.
So that night, I just went home and I was just shagged basically. And then day after I went on a session and it lasted a few days, and it took sort of all summer to come down because it was just, and it never really sunk in for weeks and months really. I think it's only when you finish your career and sort of look back that you sort of and I was young at times, so you just think, this is sort of how it is.
Yeah. This is just normal football.
Yeah, but it weren't, because it was just sort of best time of my life, And to end my first season like that was just brilliant.
It's a shame Brownie's not here, because he has said you were the drunkest man he's ever seen.
Yeah, I can vouch for that as well.
Yeah, I'd go along with that.
In
Dublin? Yeah, I'd had a few. That were a few years later than that. But yeah, I can honestly say since that day I've never had a pint of Guinness since.
Have you not?
It was just slipping down a little bit.
Did them 43 put you off it?
I give it a good. Well, we'd been out. It was Christmas do at Sheffield Wednesday, and we'd been out. We flew straight to Dublin. You lot were out there with Preston, weren't you?
Yeah.
And we'd flown straight out. I'm rooming with Tommy Miller.
And Tommy likes a drink.
Tommy fucking hell, he can drink. Jesus.
Yeah.
So we've gone out, banging Guinness down like there's no tomorrow. I think I must have fell asleep in a nightclub or something. And then I sort of wakes up, cleaners kicking me out sort of thing. I'm sort of stumbling out the streets of Dublin, like, trying to bring myself together. Gets back into the hotel. There's these 2 Irish lads. I'm on my own. All lads are long gone. So managed to find my way back to the hotel. There's these 2 Irish lads trying to get a drink in the hotel. And barman saying, you've got to be a resident. Sorry lads, I can't serve you. I thought, I'll help them out here. So like, yeah lads, I'll have a pint with you. So I said 3 pints of Guinness to kick off with. So I've had a couple with these Irish lads. Before you know it, it's fucking light and it's 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever. So I've had a few more with them. They're a bit pissed now. I'm fucking double pissed. And then I think we had to meet at like 11 down in fancy dress. So it gets to 10, half 10. Lads start sort of rolling down in the fancy dress. I'm there like fucking pissed.
Still in my gear from
night before. Looking kebab down one arm, all that sort of game, And banging Guinness down. And I remember saying to Chris Sedgwick, come down. I went, Sedge, have a look at that. Showed him my pint of Guinness. I went, have a good look at it, because you're not going to see it in a minute. I just went bang and dropped it straight down hatch. And for some reason, I just kept doing it. And, because it
started a routine. Every person who came down, what's this?
What's this? And lads are like laughing. And you're like in a bit of show off mood, aren't you? And I'm fucking, I don't know what planet it were anyway. And so I kept banging them down anyway. I eventually got up to my room, gets my fancy dress on, and we've gone to this pub.
What were you?
We had to buy each other gear, so I just got dressed up in like some old shitty gear that someone had bought from a charity shop. Yeah. And a bit like Parky is now. Bit like Parky, but a bit smarter. And so we ended up going to Old Dubliner.
Old Dubliner.
So we've met Old Preston lads in Old Dubliner. So I've been told, because my memory's a little bit.
This is probably 11:15 Sunday morning.
Right.
So we're in Old Dubliner, and like said, just going, yeah, Weaves, here's another one. And and it's like, that's begging you one.
Go show Weaves your Guinness.
Weaves, show me a trick.
Weaves. Parky, come and have a look at Weaves. You know Weaves, don't you?
Bring that Guinness with you. Bring that Guinness with you.
So one of them, you had to change your barrel about 4 times, So I kept doing it. Fuck, I don't know how I kept doing it. But he obviously just, no real fist of Guinness, is there? Don't make your bird broke, does it? Just like slips down. And I kept doing it. And Darren Pearce said to Sedge, I'm going to have to take him back to the hotel in a bit. And said, no, he's all right. Leave him. He's all right. Leave him.
But he were, up to his waist, his legs were obviously straight. And then from his waist, he was sort of at probably a 45-degree angle, but backwards.
I was defying gravity at this point, I think.
He stood up and he's not dropping a drop of Guinness. Not a bit on the floor. So it must have got to 4 Must have only been in there half an hour.
So I remember said to me, he says, I can't remember this at this point, he says, you've walked round corners if you're going for a piss. And he said, suddenly, you're like some of a cartoon where I've gone round corner, then I must have fell into, must have been serving food, I fall into knives and forks and all blokes come round kicking off saying, you're going to have to take him home. I'm thinking, he's alright mate, we'll sort him out for you. So this time Darren Pearce is getting a bit agitated who was captain. And a little bit sensible Percy, you know what I mean? Oh, lads, no, he's alright, Percy. Anyway, I'll always be grateful to Percy because he did eventually take me home. And it must have been about 1:30, 2 o'clock.
It was earlier than that. It was
I woke up at 4 o'clock next morning when Tommy Miller were coming in from Sunday night. But I didn't know I'd been out on Sunday. So I'd only thought I'd been out one night. So Tommy's come in with his kebab.
You still thought you got a night out to go, didn't you?
So I'm like thinking, fucking hell, what time is it? It's going, fucking hell, we'll be flying. And I'm thinking, and I'd lost a day of my life. I looked at my phone, fucking hell, there's like 200 missed calls, texts. I'm thinking, fucking hell. I've not been in touch with our lass or anyone. We just had my little girl, we were only little, you know, she was a few months old. Well, I spoke to her at the airport going out Saturday night. Next thing I'm phoning her Monday morning. She's been ringing hospitals in Dublin. And I'm like, I'm alright, look. Just had a bit of a longer kip than I imagined.
And fucking fresh as a daisy, love.
Yeah, but fucking, and I've never had a pint of Guinness since. It sort of scared me because I got taste for it. And obviously lads are egging me on and all, like, you know what it's like when you're in mood Christmas and we just won and all on Saturday, so you're sort of buzzing. We've got Monday off, all lads are buzzing up, Preston lads are there.
12,000 calories as well.
Yeah.
A pint of Guinness.
Don't worry about that though, do you? When you've had a few? He never did.
That's like I've still done.
So yes, I never had a pint of Guinness after that. And I've been to Dublin a good few times.
It was one of the drunkest I've ever seen anybody.
That's drunk as I've ever been. And I've been drunk a few times, like proper. I don't know what happened, but it sort of scared me a bit, to be fair. So I sort of toned it down to idiot-like for the next couple of months after that. Had a bit of a quiet Christmas and then picked up in February.
Were there some drinkers in that City team?
In the City team, yeah. I mean, when I first now were a young lad, we'd go out like all day session. We're good at races and things like that at Chester, and you know, Saturday nights they'd be like, you know, Michael Brown were there, Jeff Whitley, myself, Lee. A lot of younger lads there coming through, so you go out quite a bit. But sort of, and it was all right then. It was just seen as sort of team spirit, like, you know. And then I got a little bit older and we signed Steve Howie. Remember Steve Howie's played for Newcastle, good player. Steve, I played for England. Steve, good player. And he was the first one who sort of went out in day, just on a normal Monday afternoon. Normally you might go out on a Tuesday a bit early if you had Wednesday off. Yeah. We didn't really matter with Steve. So I was young, single, lived on my own. I had nobody to keep me in, you know what I mean? So I started going out a bit, and Paul Dickoff had come, and you know, Ian Bishop, Tommy Wright, so you know, some senior guys. And you look
getting a gathering together.
Yeah, and that, you know, we'd signed Richard Dunby this time, who he was partial to a drink as well. And, you know, and it sort of, before you know it, you get into a bit of a routine here, but you're winning, and it's good team spirit and all that.
Monday afternoon club.
Fucking hell, it started on it was Saturday night club to Wednesday night club. You know, I mean, like Jeff Whitley, for example. I've been out with Jeff on a Saturday night. He's coming in training Monday with same gear on, and you're thinking, fucking hell. I mean, Jeff ended up having a lot of problems with alcohol and drugs and everything. You don't mind me saying, because he goes round doing talks about it all now to young players. But before you know it, a sort of little drink culture sort of got in there, and while you're winning, it's fine, it's classed as good team spirit. But ultimately, we got relegated from Premier League, and Joe sort of lost his job, and it come out in press about there was a drink culture at the club and all this. And
were you aware of it, Joe?
Yeah, and it probably got a little bit out of hand, and we got relegated. So then Joe loses his job, and it gets, like I said, 2 years before when we're winning, we got promoted the year before, when we weren't expected to, and it was great team spirit, great bunch of lads, and that spirit carries you through and all that. So suddenly there's a drink culture, and Kevin Keegan come in and tried to sort it all out.
Did he come in with an iron fist because of that? Or?
He obviously knew. I always felt when Kevin Keegan come, he wanted, like, you know, he was signing players like Nicholas and Elka. He didn't want people who like myself and your Richard Dunn's knocking about, if you like, who maybe we weren't a bad influence. Don't get me wrong, but we'd been in a team that had come through having a good time with lads, and he then Keegan started signing like a few foreign players, and they're not into that, and you know, a lot of French African lads and that, and it's just then the dressing room sort of split a little bit. Then they become a little bit of a French side, and it's just how it is, and it just evolved like that. But certainly under Joe, we had some we had some good trips abroad and stuff and all that.
That you can elaborate on.
I remember, I think it were in, so year after Wembley, I think we must have got knocked out at FA Cup, and we had a free week, in that like January, early February. So it's never a bad thing to get knocked out at third round of FA Cup, is it, John? Right, lads,
It'd take me fucking 13 games to get to the third round.
And they fucking and so we've gone to Lanzarote on I think it was February, and we're doing really well in league. So we've got there, and he's like, it's not a piss up, lads, it's a training camp. When really you're thinking, nah, it's a piss up gaffer. So we gets there first day. We flew really early on Thursday. Right, no one has a drink before 6 o'clock. No one. Meet you in bar, we'll have a meal together, I'll buy you all your first drink, but no one has a drink before 6 o'clock. So next minute, Ian Bishop's come round, bit of a whip round. He's gone to the supermarket. It's about 10:30 in the morning. He's walking round pool with a shopping trolley full of ale.
What? Literally with the trolley?
Yeah, with trolley. So he's walking round with a shopping trolley full of ale. Joe Roll walks round the corner. We're hiding in Kitman's room like
Carting with trolley.
Yeah. So Big Joe's gone, fucking hell, Bish. I think Big Joe's just gone, your timing were never the best, Bish. Now fuck off. So he's fucking like scooting round pool into Kitman's room, and we just spent all day in Kitman's room. So he turns up at 6 o'clock for this meal. And nobody's meant to have a drink. Fucking hell. Lads are fucking plastered hard. They've got silly sombrero hats on. And you know what it's like. And and then he's like that. First night, right, lads. Everyone in for midnight. Training in morning, everyone in for midnight. Yeah, Gaffer, no problem, Gaffer. Fucking wham your food down as quick as you can, don't you?
You don't want to eat it, do you?
You do that every meal time, don't you? But so bang, we straight out down, fucking Veronica's and all that in it, and we fucking stay out till fucking 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Lads coming in, fucking falling asleep in reception. Also, next morning we had to be on the coach at 9 o'clock. Fucking just about made it. Our room in Lee Crooks, we just made it onto the coach. And
Crooks is a good lad.
Crooks is a great lad. We used to have club sandwich eating competitions in the room on the away games.
Yourself what?
Club sandwich eating competitions.
What, so you can eat them all?
Yeah.
What record?
Fucking hell. I'd nip out to see physio or something. For a massage or something. I'd come back in and go, I've just had one. I'm that bastard. Can I have a club sandwich, please? No chips, just a sandwich. We'd have it like 6 night before the game.
Club 7.
You fucking put half a stone on that before the game.
Club sandwich eating competition.
Look, you know what it's like, you're young and daft, aren't you? I'm not saying we thought it was a norm, but...
Play for the club.
So yeah, next morning we gets on this coach, fucking hell, in a right pickle. Ian Bishop gets on for training. Big Joe must have been like, fucking hell. Ian Bishop got on in a dressing gown to go training. Like, fucking hell.
Hotel slippers.
Yeah, fucking gets on in dressing gown. So we got like a 20-minute drive to this running track, and it's like your belly's going, you think, why didn't I just go to bed at 12 or whatever? And then we got on this running track, and we had to do something like, we did a bit of a warm-up, and lads, you just think, right, half an hour, get through it, and then you're done, aren't you? Back on piss. So you just think, get through it. So we started off on this, and do you remember Tony Grant, midfielder, played at Everton, come to City?
Did he end up Norwich manager?
No, that was Peter Grant.
Peter Grant.
That really must have been his uncle Peter. But now, so Tony Grant, great lad, midfielder, good player, really technical player, but he'd been out, I think, later than us all. So he starts off on this first lap, and Grant, he looked like Rodney Trotter. And we're running around this track, and there's a little like shed where they keep all the equipment side of this running track. So halfway out first lap, Granty's opt-in shed. We've done another 7.5 laps, and Granty's dropped onto the back at groom. Big Joe at ends on, finished like, well done lads, well done. Granty's sort of chucked a bit of water on himself, giving it all out, and Big Joe never none the wiser. But again, next night, no drinking before 6, and this was sort of common theme every night. So we're out every night, coming in at also. Managed to sort of, you get to end of the week, you're like, it's like a 5-day stag do. Yeah. A little bit of training, sort of, a bit of inconvenience in the middle, but you sort of get through it, don't you? And then at last night, he's giving, you've been brilliant this week, lads. Absolutely fantastic. Any bother out and on you can go out tonight, stay out till what time you want. I didn't fucking bother going out. I didn't bed at 10 o'clock, bollocks.
You didn't want it, did you?
Brilliant. And I remember we come back on something like Wednesday, and we played Notts Forest away on Saturday, and we won 3-1 away at Forest, which was a tough place to go at that time. And it was just brilliant, you know, because not worse than going on a mid-season trip, coming back and getting beat, and it's like, you know, managers then got to see chairman, what they've been doing in Lanzarote and all this. So yeah, it was great, and obviously we went up that season.
So it's a team building exercise, then,
absolutely.
Isn't it?
And but yeah, it was fantastic, and you know, a great trip we had then, and we went on to that was February, I think. We went on to promotion end of season, so it was fantastic.
Football Index is reinventing football betting. You can buy and sell the world's top players. Their value may go up and down, but it's not over with the final whistle like a regular bet. You get to stay in the game. Trade up to £500 for 7 days, and if you don't love Football Index, they'll give you your money back.
Use code INDEX500 to trade up to £500, risk-free for 7 days. Visit footballindex.co.uk or download the app. New customers only. Minimum deposit and conditions apply. Gamble responsibly.
What were Stuart Pearce like when he come in?
Well, he first come as a player.
Yeah.
Kevin Keegan, first signing he made, Stuart Pearce. So it was like, sort of, I'll never forget the first time I ever played with Pearce. We played in a pre-season friendly at Halifax. And I was going to say I caught across them, but I wanted them. So I had ball in my hands. And I've rolled it out to Pearce in left back slot. And I've put it slightly behind him. I'm talking half a yard. He's turned round and give me biggest roast. Hey, you fucking make sure you put it in front of me next time. And he'd give me that growl that he gives. And I'm thinking, fucking hell. I never rolled it behind him again, let me tell you. But it was good. So he come as a player, and he played 40 games or something that year as a 39, 40-year-old. And his legs had gone a little bit, but it was great to sort of play in the same team. Look, and he didn't go out to warm up. He'd sort of stand in there in dressing room like fucking heading a few against wall, growling at himself in mirror and all that. And then he'd get it tunnel, look at anyone, he'd be fucking like right on it. And it was great to sort of play with someone who I'd grew up watching play for England and all that. But I'll never forget, last game of the season, playing Portsmouth at home, we're 4-0 up, it's 90th minute, we gets a penalty, Stuart Pearce is on 99 career goals. So he's taking penalty, Dave Besant's in goal for Portsmouth, and Dave Besant says to Pearce, I'm going to stand still. So, put it where you want, I'm not going to die. He's fucking gone for stand Johnny Pearcey and put it high and wide. So he ended up getting stuck on 99 career goals when goalkeeper weren't going to fucking dive. So, and then, you think,
fair play from Dave Besant though. Let him get his
play, but he's gone for a bit of glory, and he's gone for top corner. And yeah, then he become a coach for a few years, and he used to live up there because he was based down in Wiltshire. Had some big farm in Wiltshire, so he was sort of based up there in a hotel, little apartment on his own. I lived on my own, so he'd sometimes said, "Do you want to come to a concert?" So I'd, yeah, all right. So I remember going to watch Status Quo with him because he was a bit of a rocker, Pearce. So I went to watch Status Quo with him and Oasis and one or two others. And
you don't like a drink?
Not really. No, I think he did in his younger days, but not really. I think he just sort of. No, he didn't.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, and he left it most of the time. I think he did in his younger days, but he didn't with us. And I went to dog racing with him a few times. And then I remember going to this little festival with a couple of my pals, and Stranglers were on. And I've sort of wandered down towards near Mosh Pit at Lancashire Cricket Ground. And someone went, "Here's Pearce." And I've looked round, and he's in Mosh Pit, fucking growling, fucking heads rocking. He's on his own. I'm thinking, fucking hell. So I've gone, "You alright, Stu?" He's gone, "Alright, son." And he's growling again, carrying on in Mosh Pit. And Stranglers were his favourite band. And I said, "Have you seen them before?" He went, "It's my 77th time." And he's fucking like that. My mates are thinking, fucking what a boy. You know, he's fucking England legend. He's there growling at front of Mosh Pit. And it was 77th time watching Stranglers. But he were mates with them all. And
gig buddies then with him?
Yeah, I went to a few with him, not loads. And we used to go to Dogs on a Tuesday night sometimes at Speedway. Yeah. Just for something to do, because I was young single lad, so I didn't have any ties. I could do what I wanted when I wanted. And Pearcey up here on his own. I'm not saying we were best buddies, we weren't, but we went out
on a drink at the Dogs?
No, not really.
No.
And have a couple at a concert or whatever, but that was sort of it. Weren't that sort of guy, Pearcey. But he's a great fella. And then he become manager. So Kevin Keegan got sacked. He'd been there 4.5 years, Keegan, I think, and he was the longest manager I'd ever. But I'd been injured most of the time under him. My sort of prime years and sort of took away. I didn't play for 3 years. I played one game in 3 years, I think. So it sort of altered me sort of peak years, sort of 23 to 26, 27. I barely played, and that was most of the time when Kevin Keegan were there. And I got fit under Stuart Pearce, and I played and he'd signed Andreas Isaksson, Swedish international. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, I've signed $2.5 million. We've got David James at the club, Joe Hart, we just signed. So I'm thinking, fucking hell, all right, here I'm sort of like third, fourth choice. So this Isaksson signs one particular day, Stuart Pearce manager, Isaksson. I walked in from training, there's this big fucker in. I'm thinking, who's that fucker? And I thought, it's fucking that Isaksson, Swedish goalie. I thought, this is all we fucking need, isn't it? I've got David James, who's like number one, and if you're at a club with David James, he plays and that's it, because he were that good, and, that's just how it were with JMO. And then you got Joe Hart and Kasper Schmeichel sort of on your coattails, and we just signed this other lad, so I'm thinking, it's fucking marvellous, this, isn't it? And anyway, next day, David James got sold to Portsmouth. Joe Hart was sort of up and coming, so he weren't really a massive threat to me at that time. So I'm thinking, well, I'll go into season's number 2. I can sort of live with that from where I'd been. Yeah. Anyway, day before the season started, Andreas did something to his ankle or his calf or something, and anyway, I played next day.
Were he any good? Were he any good at goalkeeping?
He was fucking better than me. But he had about 100, ended up with about 125 caps for Sweden, which 125 more than I got. But yes, I played, and then to be fair, I started off season alright, and Pearcey left me in. And to be fair to him, he changed it in about February. Had a little dip in form. Well, a big dip really, but we'll call it a little dip. And so I'll always be grateful for Pearcey for sticking by me, because he were only out for a few weeks, Andreas, and he come back fit, and he left him on bench, to be fair, and Pearcey, were great. And
so it was worth going to them fucking concerts with him, weren't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You never forget that fucking status quo one.
You listened to some shit music, but it was fucking worth it in the long run.
Wish I'd have gone to a few more now. Wish I'd have gone to them 77 Stranglers ones with him.
Did you train much with Pete Schmeichel?
Yeah, I was injured. Fucking Pete didn't fucking train much, let me tell you. But great fella, absolute cracking fella. The sort of presence of him and the awe around him, and I mean, he was bloody 39, bless him. They just used to sort of wheel him out on a Saturday. And Pete, he was just a colossus, Pete. I'm so glad I got opportunity to train with him and sort of get to know him and that. He was a great fella. And he retired at the end of the season. He'd been great for us. And then David Seaman come here after that. And
fucking hell, were you wheeling him in from fucking old people's or?
Some shadows then.
Fucking hell. Anyway, Dave come.
Who were best?
They were different. Dave were like.
That one,
I remember his first game, Seaman, he's in tunnel, and referee said to him.
Is this when he's got the ponytail?
Yeah, so he's like, chewing gum, twiddling ponytail. Yeah. Referee said, when goal is in tunnel, he always asks, ref always says, do you want to touch at ball to have a little feel for your gloves and that? He said to Dave, do you want to touch Dave? He's going, no. He might want to touch though. He might be seeing it more than me. In that big Yorkshire voice he had, and that big, like a Santa Claus laugh, weren't it? And but he was brilliant, Dave. He just a cracking fella. Unfortunately, he'd sort of probably just he was 39, 40 at the time. He ended up finishing with a shoulder injury at sort of Christmas. But again, so to play with, so it went from Schmeichel to Seaman, then we signed David James. Yeah. So it was like to work with sort of them three. It was all totally different, but yet.
What JMO like?
I used to get on great with JMO. Yeah. Not great. We weren't like bosom buddies, but
no,
I liked JMO. I could sort of handle him. Not handle him, because he fucking did what he wanted and he just sort of went along with it. But we had a Dutch guy called Ronald Waterhouse, who later probably more famous playing at Rangers, Dutch goalie. And me and him would be stood out there with Tim Flower as goalie coach, and then JMO would come walking out with his Lucozade bottle full of coffee. Big fucking Lucozade water bottle full of coffee. And Ronald had this really deep accent, this Dutch accent. He'd go, Weaves, the king is coming, so when he comes we have to talk about what he wants to talk about. So we used to call this guy Ronald Ronnie from Donny. After a bit, this Donny, what is it? So we said, a place called Doncaster, but we call it Donny, so Ronnie from Donny is good. I'm thinking this Donny is a bit of a shithole. You know what you're thinking? Well, you're probably not far off, pal. And it was a great one. But he couldn't handle JMO. Because we've got to talk about what he wants to talk about.
Too serious.
Yeah, but I just fucking, if JMO wanted to talk about something, I couldn't give a fuck. I just get on with everyone, me, you know what I mean? But
did about him used to sleep in his car and stuff like that?
I think he had like that sleep problem where he wakes up. I heard a story that Liverpool signed a player called Torben Picnic. And a fullback, I think, and he was rooming with JMO. So his first away trip, he's awoken at 4 o'clock in the morning with J-Mo at the top of him, strangling him. I mean, J-Mo is a big, imposing figure. A big, big man. You won't want to...
You won't want him stood over you for it.
Fucking hell, you won't want to clop a left hander off him.
I'd rather him fucking choking me though than fucking throwing it up me.
Well, let me tell you, no. He'll pack in 12 dance loggies. You won't want it behind here for a pencil. Fucking hell.
Just choke me, don't choke, just choke me, don't fucking bend me over.
You're going to choke me, choke your hands.
Fucking hell. God knows what he fed it on me. Well, like a fucking football side. I won't get in the shower next to J-Mo. He had everything that I didn't. You know what I mean? He just had muscles coming out. He had, as you can imagine, he had the lot, like. And he was so talented. If you could design a goalie, it would be J-Mo. It was, some days they just could not get the ball past him. So again,
He could drop a ballot though, couldn't he?
we all can, can't we?
Well,
I can't drop fucking more than most, but he could, yeah. So you'd sort of, you know, mentally, he probably could have been better. He'll probably admit that himself. But as an actual talent, I don't think there's been a better one myself. But
So
it was great at City for 2 years. Go on, sorry.
David James better than Schmeichel? If you can imagine Schmeichel in his pomp.
I'd say no. Because for me, Schmeichel was changed the face of goalkeeping forever. But David James, in his pomp, was just, when he had certain spells at Liverpool, it was brilliant. 2.5 years he had at City, it was brilliant. He was England's number one. And then he went to Portsmouth, and he did great at Portsmouth for a couple of years.
You have a problem with computer games?
J-Mo, he was one of them, yeah.
Yeah, he was fucking crap at FIFA.
I was saying to him, like, started your nest, said, you're right. He went, I was up until 4 this morning. So what doing? He's like, logging me gloves. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, gloves, I've got to log them and put them in my little pigeonholes and all that sort of thing. So I think he collected stuff, and he was into art, and he'd think nothing of sort of staying up all night on computer games and all that sort of stuff. But he's a good lad, J-Mo. I sort of got on with him, and if I ever bump into him now, it's not very often, to be fair, it's always sort of good to see him. But yeah, so I had a string of 3 fantastic goalkeepers to learn from, and there were Joe Hart and Kasper Schmeichel sort of bubbling under as well at the time. So them 5 goalkeepers I worked with there were sort of 5 at sort of best about.
Did you see promise in Kasper Schmeichel? Like, did you see him?
No. Yeah, I did.
number one?
No, I didn't. You know, sometimes you don't.
It's a big shadow, isn't it, I suppose, to follow him.
And he always he lived in his dad's shadow, which you're going to know. His dad's one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time. And Kasper, if I be honest with you, I thought Kasper would be like a championship goalie. Yeah. But what he did, he worked his bollocks off, and he just got better and better. He dropped down, he went to Notts County, ended up at Leeds.
I think left Bury for a bit.
Yeah, he went on loan to Bury, loan to Falkirk, Coventry, loads of places. He wanted to play football, and he ended up going to Leicester, and he just got better and better. And so pleased with him, because he's a great lad, but everything he's got has been down to hard work. And he's turned into one of the best keepers in Premier League. It's Danish number one. He's won Premier League. So you could see Joe. If you'd have said to me, "Is Joe Hart going to have 70 odd England caps?" I don't think you can say that when someone's 18, 19. Yeah. But you can see they're going to have. You never know how far they're going to go. But Joe was very, very talented, and Kasper as well. But Kasper's work ethic was, he used to get angry with himself, and he demanded sort of stuff we should have got from his dad.
Yeah. What about Joey Barton? Did you get on with Joey?
I got on with Joey, yeah. Joey.
Did you see him going in management?
I probably seen him going into politics more than one bit, but yeah, Joey, a great lad, Joey. I got a lot of time with Joey. Always got on great with Joey, really did. He just did stupid stuff.
Were you there on the cigar?
I was stood next to him,
Oh, yeah.
Giving him. I fucking lit it for him. I pulled Zippo, I did trick with Zippo here, pal.
You didn't
So
have
yeah, I was dressed as Ali G. Joey was dressed as John Lennon, I think. I was dressed as Ali G, so I got like fucking stupid hat on, goggles, fucking gold shell suit with all fucking jewellery and all that shit. And a young kid called Jamie Tandy, who was a youth team player. He was a really good kid. He never went on to do anything, I don't think. Went to play like local non-league sort of stuff. And he, early on in the night, Joey had a lighter and tried to set fire. Tandy would come as officer and a gentleman, Richard Gere. Yeah. Joey tried to set fire to the back tail of his jacket sort of thing. So anyway, Tandy's like, fuck off, Joey, whatever. 4 to 5 hours had passed and about 12 pints. And Tandy's thought, I'll get him back here. So Tandy's tried to set Joey's alight. And Joey had a cigar on. So as Joey's turned round, seeing what Tandy's doing, he's just gone Bosch, cigar straight in his eye. You can even hear tss. You're like, fucking hell. Everyone's like, fucking hell. And it's like, Tandy's
bit too far, Joey.
Yeah.
Bit too far.
Yeah. But I'm thinking, fucking Ada. And like, There's a bit of a commotion. Lads are fucking getting off. Joey Tandy's wanting to chill, and Tandy's sort of thinking this could be serious. This. I think he lost his sight for fucking a little bit. I don't know. He might have sort of tried to make a bit more out of it, and then obviously the big sort of debacle come after it. All went in sort of papers, and I think afterwards. But again, that was typical Joey. Like Joey would be fine and just do something daft.
Yeah.
And I remember him coming into training once with a fucking this gun, like
a gun,
like a fucking, it weren't a pellet. It was like a fucking rifle thing. So he walks into the dressing room with his. You're thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, if you want anyone to have a rifle, it ain't him. So he fired it at someone's locker, and I'm thinking, I fucking had enough here. So I fucked off out. Then we're dicking about with it outside, and then Ben Thatcher. He fucking hell, what a boy. I'll come on to him in a minute. And we could have an whole programme on him. And Ben Thatcher's driving out at training ground. He's got his shades on. And he's just his arm resting on windows. He's driving out. And fucking Joey Barton's about 30 yards away. He's gone bosh. Shot at him. And just underneath the door handle. So his arm's resting on that sill where the window would be, window down. It's pierced first skin at car. And fuck, if it had been 12 inch higher, he'd have gone his eye or something. Yeah. And fucking that just kicking off. But that was just Joey, just did sort of daft stuff.
So he shot at one of his teammates?
Shot at one of his teammates. I've seen him do well. I mean, I was here when he beat Usman Darbo up. You remember that one?
Yeah.
I thought he'd fucking killed him.
Who's Usman Darbo?
We signed him from Lazio. And big signing, French international. And did a bit of pushing and shoving in training. And it kicked off, and then Joey just went bosh, and Usman's on floor.
He's still going?
Oh, and lads eventually dragged him off. I mean, you've seen plenty of scuffles in training, haven't you? But this one, it weren't really a scuffle, it was just bang, 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 see you later. And it just happened so quick, and I'll never forget, a family had won a competition to come and watch us train. And they stood about 10 yards, just Joey's
front row seats.
Yeah, knocking fucking Usman Darbo's head off. And you're thinking, fuck. Anyway, Pearce, who manager, he sent Joey home, and he never played at the club again. It was towards end of season, so they suspended him. Then he went for Newcastle. But that's not Joey that I know. Like Joey was a good lad. One thing that Joey did was trained his bollocks off. He zapped everything out of his career. You know, he played for England when there's a lot more talented players not played for England, but he sapped everything out. And he was a good lad, worked hard. He's very opinionated, got a short fuse, and a
decent fucking right up bit, sounds it.
And loved the cigar one particular night. But he weren't a drinker or nothing, Joey.
Could he rub people up wrong way? Did you
Yeah.
either like him or you?
Yeah, a little bit. And I think as he got older, he's an intelligent kid, obviously. You know, just a scouser, just a good lad.
Yeah.
And you know, I got on great with Joey, and he just, like I say, he's a good lad, just did daft stuff. Or dafter than most.
So there's daft stuff and there's fucking daft stuff. I think shooting at one of your teammates.
Well,
I think that's quite
drive by.
Yeah, that's a bit more than daft.
I've got to ask, when Stuart Pearce put David James up front, I've got to ask about were it pre-met? Like,
no.
Did you know but they had the shit ready though.
Yeah. The first thing I knew about it, so we're playing Middlesbrough, get your seat, playing Middlesbrough, last game of the season. We're drawing 1-1. We needed to win to finish in Europe. If we didn't, Middlesbrough went into Europe. So if Middlesbrough drew, they went in. If we won, we went. So we had to win. So the draw's good for Middlesbrough. 10 minutes left. Scorching hot day. Last game of the season. Middlesbrough, Etihad. Tim Flowers, goalie coach, turned around and went, Weaves, get warmed up. This is about 80 minutes. I went, what? You went, fucking get warmed up? I'm like, what are you fucking on about? I'd not been long back from injury. I'm thinking, he can't be putting me on 5, saying well done for getting back, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Give him a little sweet there.
Yeah, give him 5 minutes.
You worked hard, Nick.
It's not end of season dead rubber sort of thing. It was fucking, you know. So then Pearce turns around, Weaves, get ready, going on. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm fucking doing tie-ups. I'm thinking, fuck you. Next minute, I sees the kit man, Les Chapman, great fella by the way, Chappie. He pulls out of his little jacket, outfield shirt with James number 1 on it. So I'm sat next to John Mack, and bear in mind, we'd paid $5 million for Mack.
I was going to say.
And he's going, oh, this is fucking great, isn't it? Fucking, I know what's happening fucking here. Yeah. So it started to sort of twig then. And you think, so only 3 people who knew about it were Pearce, David James, and Kitman. No one else knew about it. So I'm getting warmed up. I just had about 6 Jaffa cakes, like, you know what I mean? Still got some chocolate in
wine gums.
Yeah, you know what it's like on bench. Well, you'll know more than me, probably.
I used to play.
So next minute, I've gone over to fourth official. He's held it up. I think he was number 6, Claudio Reyna. So Claudio's like, I'm there. Claudio's like, what, he's replacing me? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
we're going to play with 2 keepers.
Basically, J-Mo's sprinted over with Claudio's wandered over, like, scratching his head. John Macken's fucking probably fucked off into the dressing room. And I won't blame him. And so yeah, J-Mo's come on, whipped his shirt off, whipped his outfield shirt on, James number 1 on back. He's gone up front, Claudio's gone sat on bench, I've got in goal. And it was just like, I'm thinking, I was buzzing because it was my first appearance for a while because I've been injured. So, you know, I was just buzzing to be on pitch. Couldn't believe it, like, you know. And game goes on. It weren't like with last minute. It was about 8-9 minutes to go, plus injury time. Yeah. Anyway, he caused fucking havoc. He was fucking hopeless, wasn't he? But he's like, he's bouncing off him. But what it did, it just caused a bit of panic. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't want to be marking big fucking J-Mo, so he ended up getting us a corner and it went, oh, the fucking hell. Anyway, we end up getting a penalty in about 94th minute. So, he gets penalty, 94th minute, crowd's going fucking wild. Obviously, it's like a bit of a strange atmosphere, which it's a bit of a jokey sort of thing, but it works.
Almost testimonial kind of.
Yeah, that's what it sort of felt like. So Robbie Fowler steps up to take penalty. You'd put your fucking house on Robbie, wouldn't you? It was, you know, great at penalties. Took him in, obviously, massive. I just don't think he fancied Thursday nights in UEFA Cup next year. You know what I mean? Fuck that. Thursday night. Fuck that. Thursday night away in fucking Czech Republic. So anyway, Mark Schwarzer ended up saving it, and that was that. And it was my girlfriend. It was her first ever game she'd ever been to. And she says to me after, does that happen all the time? Like, I'm saying, it'll never happen as long as you live, ever again. And she's like, oh, right. And she just thought, well, no, you won't know, would you? So we okay, unbelievable. It could have been us, like, you know, but obviously Robbie didn't fancy Thursday nights, did he? I think it was double corner on Thursday.
Yeah. It's good soap night Thursdays.
With John Macken, were he pissed off about it?
A lot pissed off, I think.
What? What are you pissed off about? You put a goalkeeper up front instead of in your silly. Of course he was pissed off about it.
But it would end at season, so it weren't like we're in training next day. Well, that was it. See you later, lads. Have a good summer, sort of thing.
What are you pissed off about it? No. Okay.
Well, to the point that he wants, I'm fucking off.
Oh, that's a fuck off moment. That if you're putting a goalkeeper up front instead of you, and you're a striker sat on bench, that's I'm fucking off.
Would you be off?
Would I be off? I want to fucking end it game.
He'd have been having his fucking pizza in the dressing room anyway.
I'd have been up the tunnel. I'd have been chained before the fucking game finished. I'm off.
You both talked about, you know, specifically in the early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, when there's a shift in the game. A lot more foreign lads are coming in, and we're looking more at the nutrition and all that stuff. But there's still, at that time, a drinking culture. It's still prevalent at that time. But did you ever get any foreign lads that came in and just embraced that English way of life and embraced that drinking culture? I mean,
a lot of foreign lads, you get your French lads aren't really drinkers. Yeah. A few of your Scandinavian boys and Dutch lads and Germans and all that will have a drink. I mean, Didier Man, he come to City. He's a boy like proper English lad, like loved a bit of cricket, bit of rugby league, all that sort of thing. Like to drink, just a regular, just a normal bloke, you know. But just English, like you're thinking he's playing at World Cup final, he's won Champions League and all this. Been at Liverpool for years and Bayern Munich, Newcastle and all that. Just a regular lad, but an absolute brilliant player. Never seen him give it away. And you don't realise sometimes how good these players are until you sort of play with them and see him every day in training. But someone like him, he was like a throwback to 80s because he lived his life like someone in 80s, you know. And obviously he was in that era where it was sort of that transitional sort of era. Yeah. Like me and Parky will tell you, he sort of, when we started, it was still a big, you know, there were no sports scientists and dietitians and all that crap. That's all like a new thing over the last sort of 10 or 15 years.
You had a night out, you had to just fucking run your bollocks off to get the night out of you.
Yeah.
That was you know, the Christmas do, you'd go out Saturday, all day Sunday, off Monday. In Tuesday, it was a fucking proper slap, wasn't it? Proper session. You know, like, sweat weekend out here. You're like, fucking hell, take me 3 weeks to sweat that out of us.
Yeah. But we used to train Monday. Tuesday were like running day.
Yeah.
We'd train and then like running club after, and then you'd have Wednesday off, wouldn't it? And then it would just, you know, you played hard and worked hard sort of thing. And then it obviously, I remember, I think, round about 2000-ish, we brought our first ever fitness coach in, a Colombian guy. He was just been manager of Mexico actually at World Cup. A guy called Juan Carlos Osorio.
Oh yeah.
Easy for you to say. I like one, just the one I wanted to see. And but yeah, he was the first one who sort of, we're doing all these stretches, and he's talking about eating like ostrich eggs and all this shit, and you're like, you what? And it was just like, it was the first time we'd ever sort of seen it. So that were like 2000ish, that, so 2001 maybe. So that's less than 20 years ago, isn't it? And it's sort of like that big transition then, and all the sort of, you know, Arsene Wenger had been here a good few years at that time, and just the mentality started to change then. Obviously, the money in the Premier League then were getting bigger, and the sort of mentality started to change then, and the drink culture started to sort of drift away.
Do you have to look at that differently now, though? Because you're both doing your badges, but you know, you're saying there were major benefits from back in the day, all going out, having a laugh, great for morale. So, is there any place for that culture, that lifestyle?
The thing is, I think there's a lot to be said for it. I really do. I mean, I might just be fucking old-fashioned, but a good night out with all the lads is as important as a training session. In the respect, if you go out on a Saturday night, so you've got the game Saturday, so the lads are looking forward to the night. Everyone comes into the game Saturday afternoon, fucking buzzing and excited. Play the game, and you're in a good mood before you get to the game, so everyone's happy. Go out Saturday night, you get in Monday morning, and everyone's talking about the Saturday night. And everyone goes into work Monday morning buzzing again, you know what I mean? Like, so you were nice, weren't you? Yeah, not bad. Did you take a bath? I fucking did, I. You know what I mean? But that's how it were, and it got like, you were excited, and everyone were talking. I mean, now, mobile phones now have killed a dressing room. Lads will sit there and just, nobody's talking.
They don't communicate now, young lads. Our young lads at the club and great teens, they have to hand the phones in the morning. So they actually talk to each other in dressing room. If not, they'd be just all sat there with their head down, looking at the phone.
Everyone's just fucking liking on Instagram, liking birds,
swiping
birds
left
on
or
Instagram.
swipe left or right, don't you?
What about nutrition side of it as well, though? Because obviously it's more than prevalent in modern game.
Yeah, I think when you look at the top players, not just footballers, but you know, athletes, they all these, you know, they go vegan, don't they, and things like that, and it's just, they do anything to try and find that little edge. You get some lads who aren't bothered. Yeah. Even now, at top level, you get some lads who are just naturally fit, they're natural. But you get other lads who then buy into it, and they're measuring everything out when they're cooking stuff and all that. So a lot depends on the individual, but the culture's just changed massively now. And certainly, you talk about drinking, there's a time and a place, isn't there? And it's when you've got a few days off, or it's international weekend or whatever, then by all means go and enjoy yourself. But now, when I was playing, up until last sort of 5 or 6 or 7 years of my career, I'd go out on a Saturday night, and it didn't enter me if we had a game on a Tuesday, where sort of towards the end of your career, like, I best take it steady now, I've got a game on Tuesday. So I won't go out on a Saturday then. Yeah. But like early on in your career...
Still go out Sunday, but...
Yeah, go out Sunday.
Just won't go out Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday night, yeah. But yeah, so it's sort of like, it changes, and as you get older, I think, I don't know if Parky feels the same, but you get more professional as you get older, because you know, when you're young, you don't get, you don't get tight hamstrings and things like that. You just get up, get on with it. You don't need a stretch. As you get older, you've got to look after your body a bit more, as you can see by the great man sat beside me. Obviously, that's somebody to look after.
I've obviously never took heed of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know what you mean. I used to go out every Wednesday night, student night in Barnsley. But, right? And this were a proper night out, this were a 4 or 5 o'clock night out. And I was getting up for work at 7 o'clock.
Can't do that now, though, can you? It's all drummed out at an early age.
Yeah, you look in the academies now, they do a video analysis under 9s. I don't know, it was just a big social thing, wasn't it? You'd have a few pints in Players' Lounge after the game. Yeah. That's unheard of now. Having a drink in Players' Lounge, are like, you what? That's what happened though, you'd have a couple of pints in Players' Lounge.
Sheffield Wednesday were the best because it was free.
Yeah, it used to be free. Parky went one game and they suddenly changed that policy. He drank them dry.
Get on the coach like, fucking hell, fire.
Did an Adam Wingy asking for a contract.
But yeah, you see, it's all just changed, and they've been drummed in now and it's such a fitness-based game now, when it weren't then. You look back to like Jan Molby, for example, who was at primary, a big lad, sat in set, never really moved out at centre circle, but good play. You can't do that now. Yeah. You've got to be up, down, if you're midfield, you've got to be box to box, you've got to be fit, you're in gym and doing all these gym programmes, and...
But you used to have a couple of pints in the Players' Lounge with the lads you just played against. You know what I mean? It weren't just in your team, it were a camaraderie within football as well, a little bit. When you were injured, did you used to go out more when you were injured?
Well, sort of, but I got to a point where it was really serious, my knee. I'd had 2 operations in England, and then neither of them worked. Physio sort of took me for a walk round pitches at training ground. And he says, listen, we really don't know what's going on inside your knee. So I'm thinking, fucking hell, you're meant to know, because you ask physio what's wrong, and they're meant to tell you. So surgeon had been in twice, not fixed it. My knee's ballooning up. I couldn't train. I couldn't bend my knee. I'm thinking, fucking hell. I'm sort of 23 at the time, and then he's saying, we're going to have to send you to America. So it's serious when you're going to States. So I went over to America. Cut a long story short, I had 2 operations over there which were unsuccessful, but they had to do them before they touched on this big operation I had, which was having a dead man's cartilage inserted into my knee. So when it became apparent I needed this surgery, I had to wait for a donor, because it was someone similar size, similar build.
Right, yeah.
I had to wait for, someone
to die.
So it's
in America.
Yeah, because they have like donor banks, don't they, and stuff. So it over Christmas. It weren't.
You must have been waiting long if you did it. You found a man same size.
not in America. Fucking hell,
It weren't all bad news though, because we decided, I think, early December that I needed this operation. So manager let me go to Mexico for a couple of weeks. I went to Cancun for 2 weeks before Christmas.
Send your frogs.
Aye. Anyway, come back January, went back to America, had this big operation. When I had it done, I realised how serious it were. I'm sort of 24, 25 at the time, perhaps 25 maybe. And I didn't have a drink for a year.
Yeah.
Worst year of my life, like.
His knee felt fine, but he was fucking suicidal.
Okay, no. But I got to a point where I thought, if I have to retire here, I can't look back and have any regrets. Because I thought I was going to have to retire. Got to a point where I was informing my insurers on a monthly basis where my progress were, because we thought we were going to have to make a claim. I even went to America once just for a scan to see if I could actually train. So I was lucky I was at a club like City who would sort of pay for me to do all that. The operation I had, they didn't do in Europe at the time. I was the first British footballer to have that particular operation. And it saved my career at mid-20s. And I was lucky I had a long time left on my contract. I signed like a 5.5 year contract 6 months before I'd got injured. So I had time, so they looked after me. I'll always be grateful for them to that. And then, my biggest thing at City were getting back in and playing. Last season I was there, 2006, 2007, getting back in and played that full season just about. And I class that as my biggest achievement in football, because coming back, I was gone. I was absolutely gone.
Were it tough, that, like, mentally?
When I look back, because it were all the same, it all just blurs into one.
Yeah.
But I just used to... I put everything into my rehab.
You were being tipped for England before then, weren't you?
Yeah. I soon sorted that out.
What netball?
Tiddlywinks. But no, so it sort of altered me right in my sort of prime years, and sort of took away. I didn't play for like 3 years. I played 1 game in 3 years, I think. So it sort of altered me sort of peak years, sort of like 23 to 26, 27. I barely played, and that was most of the time when Kevin Keegan were there. And I got fit under Stuart Pearce, and I played.
So when you mentioned Ben Thatcher,
fucking hell,
character,
the greatest lad I think I've ever met. Fucking brilliant lad, absolute. All lads loved him, but he was he just used to do the most stupid stuff. I mean, you've seen his tackles and all that. So I remember that one with Pedro Mendes when he fucking wiped him out. And
were you like the way that's way out? Like,
not really. He just, people thought he was a bit of an hard man, and he'll openly admit he weren't. He just sort of had a skinhead and bit of a cockney boy and all that, and just sort of, he played hard. He was, tough in tackle, but he was just an idiot, but a likeable idiot, a good idiot, like. And he used to, he always fucking used to have a piss up against bar when you went out. Every time. So I remember being in this bar in Manchester, and I'm stood next to him. He's gone, Weaver, I've just had a fucking piss. And you're thinking, oh, for fuck's sake. So we've gone and sat down at this table. Next minute, a man and woman come and stood just next to us. He takes his jacket off, this bloke, and puts it on the floor. So I'm thinking, oh, for fuck's sake. No. So this piss is trickling down. It's like, we were probably about 6 or 7 pints in here, so it probably first one, but it were a good one. Probably a good 2 pints within it, you know what I mean?
You see it getting closer and closer.
So after about 20 minutes, they must have finished the drink. So he's picked his jacket up, this bloke, and he says to his missus, oh, fucking hell, someone spilled a drink on my jacket. It's not a fucking drink that bad. It might have been a drink fucking half an hour ago. It's not a drink now.
And Ben Thatcher's pissed at bar.
Oh, and then you'd be in shower, and you'd be there like with fucking, insignia all over you, and then next minute you'd feel something warm up your leg, and you'd turn around and it'd be pissing up your leg. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then he used to, shall we say, leave the kit man little deliveries around the little presents around the training ground. Wrapped. And he'd like they had a kit room, like a storage room with like loads of boots, new boots as far as I could see, like stacked up 2 or 3 deep, all new kit, everything, boots trained. So he'd take like a pair of boots out, put them like under some kit, have a shit in shoebox, and then like slot it back in. He wouldn't tell a soul. So like a day and a half later, you'd just hear, this would be Les Chapman, kit man. He's struck again! He's fucking struck again! The fucking dirty animal! He's done it again!
Did he do it with Thatcher?
Oh,
or
well,
like a phantom ship?
No, everyone knew it was Thatcher. So we'd fucking come running round up. Where is it? And he's done it again, the fucking animal! But it had been fermenting for like 24, 36 hours. And fucking kit man would be like, oh my God. And it was just fucking, it was so, he just had this, we got away with doing things like that. And he once dropped one in my fucking locker. So I've gone to my locker and I can see him fucking, he had this smirk on him, like, and I could have thought, what's he fucking done now? I opens my locker. There's a fucking, and he'd done it in like, he took, like that tracing paper you get in bottom of shoebox, he'd done it on paper and put paper in my locker. He fucking stank my locker out, you know what I mean? You're like, for fuck's sake.
But you couldn't get mad at him?
No, because it was just a great fella.
That cheeky grin.
Yeah, and everyone, it was just funny. And he'd batter you fucking dad, he'd give your fucking brother something, he'd give your missus, he'd just batter anybody. And I remember we went on pre-season tour to China, and he wiped a kid out there and all, another Mendes-esque challenge.
Never got to see.
No, we played Shanghai Shenhua. So, all Chinese
Is that a
guys,
card game?
they were sort of perfect elbow height for him, you know what I mean? So he's gone smashing into the fullback, he's gone bang, so that forearm smashing. Next day, there's a picture of this kid on a drip on fucking back at paper. So, anyway, so we've played a game. We played against, who else did we play against? They were like a 14 tournament, and anyway, we probably finished fucking bottom. And we've gone back to the hotel, we're flying home next morning. And someone said to Stuart Pearce, manager, I think Richard Dunwich, captain at the time, he's gone to Pearce, like, are we like to go out for a drink, Gaffer? He went, no. So I'm like, oh, fucking hell.
One of them where you thought, we need to ask, but we don't really want to in case he says no, because then you're fucking
you're
about.
fucked then, aren't you? So anyway.
It sounds like this story's going, there were no point in asking anyway.
It's courteous, isn't it? You've got to be polite, haven't you? You know what I mean? So we've gone to Kitman's room, Chappie, which like, you know what it's like on a away trip, like you congregate in Kitman. It's a bit of a social physio room, Kitman's room. They're like social clubs, aren't they? And he had some like fucking whiskey and some fucking vodka and a few beers and that. So there were me, Ben Thatcher, Paul Dickoff, Didier Mann, Stevie Jordan, Richard Dunn.
Big kit room.
Yeah, some big lads and all. And so anyway, we're in there. We've had a few. Gets to like fucking 2 in the morning. We're like, fuck it, we're going out. See what fucking crack is. So we've ended up going into this. It was weird. It was this bar club thing. Like, Charlie, it was weird. Middle of Shanghai, so it's, you know, we stuck out like fucking 6'4" blonde hair, like, you know what I mean?
We don't think he's from around here.
You're not going to blend in, are you? And so we've gone into this bar, and we've had a few more. And then after a bit, Stevie Jordan, another great lad.
I played with Stevie at Fleetwood.
Yeah, good lad Steve, innit? But again, he got a little bit of a screw loose. And he's jumped on pool table. And he's got these like 3/4 length. We're in his Man City gear, by the way. We've not got a service on. So to be fair, that was my best. That was my Reebok. That was my best gear at the time. So we're in this bar, and he gets on pool table, and then I'm thinking, what the fuck's he doing? So he stood on the middle of the pool, and then I could see this wet coming down from midriff to his, and he starts pissing himself on this pool table. So everyone's like, what the fuck's he doing? So Dunny's like, Stevie, get fucking down, you idiot. So he gets off, like he's half pissing himself, literally. He gets off, and everyone's, what the fuck are you doing? He went, well, everyone laughs when Thatch does it. But like I was saying, Thatch just had this way about how he sort of did things. You know, it was just funny with everything. And Stevie were like, I don't know, they played it as they were left backs. I don't know if he tried to, outdo Thatch or whatever, but it just weren't funny when Steve did it. It was way Thatch did things. But
I think he used to like, he'd be stood like, obviously, the stand-up pisser. And you used to stand there and you just stood having a piss, mind your own business. And Stevie Jordan used to come round you and he'd cup both his hands together and he'd just piss into his hands and he'd just go and he'd drink it. Have you really just done that, mate? And it's like, and bearing in mind he's 33, 34 now, we're fucking married with 2 kids, you know what I mean? And he just stood having a piss and he just come round, cups it, and
Good
fucking
blend.
walk off.
Good blend.
Yeah. Mine probably had froth on.
He was a fucking loose cannon, Steve, as well. Good lad, though. Great lad. I think he went to Huddersfield on loan and they ended up sending him back because he shat in captain's fucking boot. So he's come in after training, he's fucking dropped a mix in a pair of fucking Umbros or whatever, upped him back on peg. Kitman's gone to clean him. I don't know if hand went in or what. Or he smelt it before he got there. And I think Lee Clark was manager and he fucking went mental.
Weren't having any of it.
He went back to Sheffield United.
Fucking hell.
Sent back from my loan for shitting in captain boot.
He's a physio now, Steve, but again, fucking great lad. But again, he was one at gang who weren't quite right,
Speaking of Thatches, were you there when Stephen Ireland rocked up with his new weave?
Well,
because you were like one at first, and it was interesting.
It was sort of what a player, by the way.
Yeah.
As a talent, you got a little bit of a look of him, by the way, in his early days.
He's dropped dead fucking ugly and all.
But an absolute. But he was from Cork, which is, it's not Dublin, is it?
Yeah.
They're a little bit backward out there. No offence to anyone who's from Cork, but. So he come over and it was like an unbelievable. I'm not going to call.
We've got a big fan base in Cork. I think.
I knew you were going to say that. Great place, Cork. Been loads of time. No, anyway, so great player, Steve. As good a feat as I've ever seen. He's had a good career, but it should have been. He could have gone right to the top. Yeah. And he sort of come in one day, and I'm fucking looking at him, and we're thinking. And he's like got new fucking teeth and new hair, and we're trying to look at when you can't work something out. You're thinking.
Come back from pre-season with
no. So like
it's just an overnight.
Yeah, he fucking hell. He must have been glued down well because he had no hair on Saturday, had a full fucking barnet on Monday morning. He's fucking defying medical science, you know what I mean? But again, another good lad, just a little bit different, shall we say? But as a talent,
he used to have like pink Range Rovers.
I'd gone at this point when he started to get stupid.
Yeah.
But he had pink Range Rovers and fucking diamonds, this and and he just
a pink Range Rover.
Yeah, pink trims on it, pink alloys, and it was
That fucking Katie Price, man.
He's a nice kid. He was just not wrong planet.
Yeah.
Football Index is reinventing football betting. You can buy and sell the world's top players. Their value may go up and down, but it's not over with the final whistle like a regular bet. You get to stay in the game. Trade up to £500 for 7 days, and if you don't love Football Index, they'll give you your money back.
Use code INDEX500 to trade up to £500 risk-free for 7 days. Visit footballindex.co.uk or download the app. New customers only. Minimum deposit and conditions apply. Gamble responsibly.
And then, like you said before, you got your place back in the City team, and then you went to Charlton.
To be fair, I'd agreed a new 2-year contract at City with an option of a third and a testimonial and all that. I was meant to sign it. Day after the season finished, we played away at Tottenham. Got beat. Stuart Pearce gets sacked next day. So I got a phone call off Chief Exec of the club saying, listen, you're meant to be coming in and sign your contract today. We've just sacked Stuart Pearce. News is just breaking. We can't do anything for a couple of days because obviously this is, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, fine. But it's all agreed, shook on. No issues with me whatsoever. I think it had been released in press that I'd agreed it and everything. Yeah. And yeah. Anyway, as time went on, a week had passed. I said, well, can I come in and sign that? No, yeah, club's up for sale now. So, all right, well, what's happening with that? Well, we've got to buy it. It'll just take a couple of weeks to go through. I said, well, I'm going on holidays tomorrow. We'll go on your holidays, come back, you sign. It'll all get backdated, so it's no, So I'm thinking, yeah, fine. You know what it's like, you've shook on it, And then after a bit, I come back off my holidays, put about 2 stone on. One of them holidays, you know what I mean? And,
you've not had a fucking proper holiday if you've not put a couple of stone on, have you?
Desperate to get shits last couple of days to lose it all.
Is that chicken raw? Yeah, fucking put it on my plate there.
So I comes back and then it's like, another 10 days sale's going to go through. So he's got a taxi in Shinawatra. I remember when he took over. And Anyway, this went on and on and on. And after a bit, I'm thinking, they've got no manager. They've got no owner because it's in transition. Chief exec saying, want you to stay. I'm thinking, well, fuck it. Then next minute, Sven-Göran Eriksson's getting rumoured to taking over. And I'm thinking, well, fucking hell, that's fucking no good for me because they've got a Swedish goalie there. He's going to favour him. Yeah. So I'm thinking, fucking hell. Meantime, my agent's like saying, we need to start having it got announced that I were going to sign, you see. So it weren't in public that I were available. Yeah. And I'd had, alright season, should we say. I'd like to think I'd have been alright to get a club sort of thing. So anyway, I've gone up golfing. They talked to a few other clubs that we couldn't get outdone. And I didn't really want to leave City. I really didn't. And then I went up golfing in north of Scotland. And I'm hanging out of this fucking restaurant window.
It's good about work, fucking having a cup of coffee, then fucking splashed all over you. Hanging out at what, bedroom window?
Hanging out at a restaurant window, because I couldn't get a signal. So I'm like hanging out of this window. And his agent saying, right, this is like Sunday night or something, he's saying, Charlton want to take you. I said, I ain't fucking going to London. Alan Pardew's been on, really wants to, really keen. They're having a right go. They've just been relegated from Premier League. So they've been at Premier League for years. They've just sold Darren Bent and they recouped a lot. So they're having a right go to some pre-season favourites to win league. So I'm still thinking, I don't fucking fancy it. Alan Pardew's a bit of a flash, you know what I mean? Yeah. I thought, I don't fancy it. And the next minute, I've got my fucking mate on phone, Anna Thatcher. Who would fucking sign there in January. Fucking get down here, Weaves, you fucking I'm too northern for all this. It's all Gaffer's great, like, you'll love him, you'll be all. I'm thinking, nah, all that fucking flash fuckers down there. I'm thinking, it's not for me. So my agent's like, wait, we'll go down and see what he's got to say. So we've gone down on this Wednesday and had a chat with him, and he's come out, his fucking pinstripe suit on, all that, hair slicked back. Yeah, fucking old gear on, and he's giving it
everything that you didn't want to go anywhere near.
Yeah, but I thought, he's talking to me like, I'm thinking, and I got like a geezer here telling me he's all over me, really wants me, what he likes about my game, how he sees me fitting in, and I'm thinking, I fucking like this fella. And I've got these fuckers at City saying, yeah, I still want to do it, but they weren't really showing, if they'd wanted to do it, they'd have made it happen. Yeah. And I thought, fuck it. So we're going down on Wednesday morning, I ain't signing for this, saying to my agent, I don't know why we're coming, I ain't signing for that. We in half an hour, I'd fucking signed. So that rate I'd fucking signed. I thought, fucking hell. So I literally shot back up. Sven-Göran Eriksson tried to ring me that night, and then that was it. I never
answer it?
No, well, Richard Dunn ended up ringing me. Saying, Sven's been, he wants you to come in to I've just signed for Charlton. He's going, you kidding? He fucking wants you in. I said, well, I fucking signed and that's it. And it was the biggest mistake I ever made. Yeah. But at the time, I felt it was the right thing to do. Because for all I know, I could have gone into City, trained a couple of days or something, got injured, and then, I'm up creep right paddle, aren't I? So anyway, I signed for Charlton. We're pre-season favourites to win league. Win 2 years, I got us relegated. You know what I mean? So
I got us relegated.
I mean, one or two other players will probably take a bit of responsibility, but but I never forget my first day down there. So I knew a couple of lads, like Luke Young were there. I'd played at England 21s with him, and Jody Morris were on trial, and Thatcher, obviously, I'm big mates with Thatcher, he were there. So I've gone in on my first day, and I got introduced to a few people, and I just heard this, hey, big man. I thought, hi, pal. Turns around, it's Jerome Thomas. Remember Winger? Yeah. Fucking some talent, by the way. He's gone, hey, big man, have you parked in the 12 dog? I went, the 12 dog? Oh, the number 12 parking bay. I went, yeah, I think so. He went, that's mine, innit? It's for the Bentley, innit? I'm going, oh, no. I said, I didn't realise you had to park in your squad number. I didn't realise. I said, sorry, mate. He went, don't let it happen again. I'll let it go because it's your first day and that, innit? But next time I'll reprimand you. I'm thinking, who's it? I'm thinking, what sort of fucking establishment have I joined here?
I'll reprimand you.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, anyway, ended up being a really good lad, JT. Just a great lad. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, and he kept going on about this Bentley. He's going, yeah, I got a Bentley, man, innit? It's got a leather roof. And that's how he used to say, you're thinking, you fucking what? I'm from fucking Sheffield, pal. I'm fucking watching me having a fucking leather roof. But yeah, and then I remember we had a meeting. We signed loads of players that summer, because it's like, get relegated, new manager, clear out, a load of new ones in. And we had a meeting on Monday, named the team on the Monday before first game on the Saturday, which is really early, isn't it? You know yourself, Parky. Only time I've ever known it, because you've got rest of the squad, fucking
heads up their ass for the rest of the week, aren't they?
So we've walked out of this meeting room Monday morning, and JT, Jerome Thomas, is best mates with Lloyd Sam. So they're walking out. Jerome's not playing. So Jerome still thinks he's like a Premiership player. So he's not playing, so he's going, Lloyd, can you believe it? Me, sub in the Championship. Can you believe it, Lloyd? Me in the Championship, Lloyd. And then you've got Lloyd Sam going, no, bro, it's fucking disgrace, bro. You're the boy, bro. Giving it all that, you know. It's like, and
surreal.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, what fucking planet am I on here? And then like it was just funny, JT. And then we've gone out one night and for a change, like, and he and Bright Lights London, it's fucking different down there, like, you know. The first time I'd ever seen people have tables when you go out. We'll get a table. Oh, just stand at bar, mate. Yeah, we've got a table. I'm going, well, I'm happy enough at fucking bar, like. And I'm going, right. You know what I mean?
Fucking people pissing up them guys. I've seen it all before.
I'll let tell me you see number fucking 79 when you're in Witherspoons or in your snap. Yeah, what table? Can I get that one? Just chicken, please. At table 79, thank you very much.
So at this sort of do, and it were a free bar. So JT's gone up to this bird, he's chatting to this bird, I'm fucking tab hanging like, and he's gone, I know like it's a free bar, so I can't buy you a drink or anything, but can I buy you a house or a car or anything like that? And you're thinking, fucking hell, put that straight in back pocket for later. And then they were fucking ones.
Writing checks out
Yeah, he fucking loves it, JT. But a great kid. He's like, he sounds like a twat, but it was just funny. And he had this like squeaky voice, like I probably sound not like him, but that's how it sounded to me, especially after a few pints. And
Can I buy you an house or a car?
Yeah, can I buy you an house or a car or anything like that? And then next minute we're telling him about his fucking Bentley with leather roof. It's got a leather roof. And fucking hell, and then he's in this nightclub one time. He's on like a balcony, don't they, like on the end of a booth or something. And he's pulled a wad of 20s out. And he's fucking making it rain, innit? You know, he thinks he's fucking peed, didn't he? And he's going, Lloyd, look! To Lloyd Sam, like, look at all the peasants scrambling for the 20s. I were fucking one of them. I'm thinking I'll have a bit of that fucker.
Out of where?
Yeah,
fucking running downstairs.
Lloyd, look at the peasants scrambling for the 20s. And you're thinking, fucking hell, we're alright here. You know, I'm as northern as they come, like you lads, and fucking hell, you go down there and it's just, and it's, you think they flash at first, but they're not, it's just how they are. I mean, you just knock about with lads, new lads who like lived on the road I lived on and that, and they'd live at home with their mum and dad, they wouldn't have a car, they'd have an £8 watch on.
Yeah.
And girls would have a £1,000 handbag, and that's the most, it's all about image, and that's the most important thing. We're up here, it's just not, we're not bothered about that sort of stuff, are we?
As long as you can get a pint, you're right, aren't you?
Yeah, but it were an eye-opener, and Alan Pardew at manager, like, who I ended up, you know, I got, well, more or less going single-handedly. But no, he were a nice bloke, Pards, and when I went down there with full of hope and everything, how it was going to work out, and it just didn't work out. I played like a season and a half, and then Phil Parkinson took over. Have you worked with Parker?
Yeah, I worked with Parker all.
What's that grin for?
With his fucking clipboard. He never walked around with his clipboard all the time. Fucking hellfire. He once said to me, do you realise how lucky you are to be a footballer? I said, fuck off. He says, what do you mean? I says, I'm not lucky. He says, I've worked my fucking balls off. He won't have it. He went adamant I was lucky to be a footballer. and if it had said it to anybody else, fair enough, but I actually really were lucky. I'm going to say, look at the state. You know what I mean? I don't think you're meaning footballers in general, you're meaning you are lucky to be a footballer. Like, fucking hell, you're not wrong.
As soon as Wednesday come in, were you like,
oh, yes. Fucking hell. I turned a few... He rung me up Rhodesy and says, right, what are you doing? I'd come out of contract at Burnley.
So he said, I'm out. I'm just having a drink, is it?
Where do you think I am?
I'm just in fucking spying on me. I'm just in fucking Black Ball, is that alright?
And he's like, right, we want to take you. Spoke to Alan, want to do it. I'm like, oh, fucking, I can't believe it. Just had a little baby girl, moved back to Sheffield. I'm like 31 at the time, and so I'm thinking, oh, fucking, couldn't believe it. Clean, I supported as a boy, I'd played them on. Brilliant, couldn't believe it. Then he's like, we've just got to get rid of Granty first. Lee Grant, I'm thinking, Burnley are in for him. So I'd just left Burnley. So I know they need a keeper. One better than me. But this took them, from them selling Grant, it took about a month. So I'm getting offers from, not great offers, like else I'd have took them, wouldn't I? But I'm getting interest from other clubs, like Wednesday in League One at the time, I could have moved to clubs in Championship, 2 or 3. And I put everything on back burner because I wanted this Wednesday thing to happen. And then Granty went. I thought, fucking hell. So I went, right, Rosie, what's happening? Well, Alan Irvine's asked me to get a list of goalies together now that's available. I'm thinking, don't do this. I'm thinking, I thought it were mine, like. But I suppose he's only doing what's right. So I thought, fuck it. So I ring Rosie. I said, can I come up training tomorrow? He's like, yeah, I suppose. This was like one night. So I thought, fuck it. I just jumped in my car, shot straight up Sheffield, just turned up next morning. I were in good condition. So, but I knew what people would think. I'd fucking balloon.
You wanted to flaunt the guns.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't go in Irvine's office with my fucking vest on, like, you know what I mean?
It felt like fucking David James.
I fucking didn't. Might have been David Jason, but not fucking David James. But yeah, so
or fucking Clive James.
So I ended up going up seeing them and ended up signing for Wednesday, which brilliant. I couldn't believe it, and I signed literally on Thursday before the season started. I went straight into team, and I was just unbelievable. Moved back home after all them years, and to playing for team, it was just brilliant.
You come back a bit of a flash bastard after all that influence.
Nah, not really. I think getting relegated and knocked stuff in at me a bit. I went from one extreme to other. Fucking hell. I went from Charlton. I went
to Dundee.
Yeah. I went to Dundee. Well, like fucking.
Well, there are no Bentleys in Dundee.
No. So fucking hell. I went up there. I says to him, I didn't take my car up. I says to Craig Levine, manager at Dundee, I says, can you get me a car? So he's like, yeah, what do you want? I said, as long as it's big. Thinking they'd get me like a BMW or something. Fucking next day, so car's on front of you. I went, it's a fucking Mondeo. I thought, fucking hell. Time's a tag on from a fucking Aston Martin to a fucking Mondeo in about 3 fucking weeks. You're thinking,
welcome to Dundee.
Welcome to Dundee. Hey, we're one of the best cars in Dundee, that Mondeo. But yeah, so it were good. So I gone from one extreme to other. Everyone were flashed down in London. It was just how it is down there. And then in Dundee, just nobody were, and there were no real big hitters at club, and it was just a good bunch of lads, and that was more my kind of dressing room than sort of ones like down south, if you like. But yeah, then obviously moving on to Wednesday, I went to Wednesday and started playing there, and it were brilliant. I sort of loved coming back to Wednesday and sort of living out my childhood dream, which I'd been on loan there. I played 14 games, 2005-2006, but to go there and sign permanently were brilliant for me.
Clinton Morrison there, he didn't get any guns out, did he?
Oh,
fucking Clinton. I'll never forget, we signed Clinton, Morrison, Neil Mellor. So we signed some good players.
Yeah. Tried signing me. I nearly signed in January.
I know, I remember. Because I'm thinking, fucking hell, we are at Inquiry, weren't we? This was just after the Dublin trip. But I remember, I'd only been there like a day, and what Clinton used to do. Clinton, I mean, you love Clinton, don't you? Like winding Clinton up. What Clinton used to do, if someone had just signed, he's sort of straight up to him, sort of, yeah, all right, bro, how you doing? Giving it all that, like, yeah. And he's going, all right, Weaves, how you doing, pal? Yeah, all right, yeah. Remember when I knocked one past you at Main Road and all this? Giving you all that. You're like, yeah, I remember, Clint, like, And then he's going, oh, bro, man, I can't believe I've dropped down to League One. I'm going to get 30 this season, innit? I'm going to get at least 30 goals there. I'm going to win golden boot. He got fucking 6. But he'll still try and tell you it was 26, like. But it was a good lad, Clint. Like, I thought it was going to be a bit of a helmet, like, because he talked outside of his mouth and all that. But I like Clinton. I didn't think I'd get on with Clinton, but it was a bit had a Jerome Thomas mould at times. But he was a good lad, Clinton.
Said exactly the same thing.
I remember being on team bus, and then Clinton and Giles Corker having an argument. Remember Giles?
Yeah.
Corker? So they're having an argument at back at coach. Who could get the other one shot quickest? I get you shot in 45 minutes, bruv. Yeah, I get you done in 30 minutes, bruv. And you're like, what the fuck? They've been watching too many fucking films, haven't they? And you're just like, what the fuck? What planet are these fuckers on here?
He's like, I fucking know Joey Martin.
Get Joey around, he'll pop a fucking cap in your ass. But yeah, fucking hell.
Mexican coming after him.
Yeah, so fucking hell. So Alan Irvine got another one, we got sacked. And, but yeah, Alan Irvine, nicest bloke, probably nicest manager I've ever played for. Great coach, not sure he was like a manager, he's more of a coach, wasn't it? You'll know that yourself. And so Mego come in, so it was chalk and cheese. Oh, fucking Gary Megson comes in, fucking hell. So I'll be first one in after warm up. So first fucking game, you're thinking, fucking hell, what's that smell? Oh, fucking brandy. He's got a bottle of brandy on go. So he'd have a couple of slurps of brandy. He'd come in, fucking. And then he'd be getting into lads before game and all this. And he used to go fucking ready, be fucking steep. He used to go into like a trance, Mego. Nicest man all week, pretty quiet. On training pitch or on a game, he'd go into a trance, just go fucking mental. And we'd never seen out like it when it first happened. But after a bit, you sort of got used to it. Oh, here he fucking goes again. And we've come in at half time and he's going on about this and that. And he said, remember Miguel Lira? Centre half, Spanish lad. Yeah. Good looking fucker, like, you know what I mean? Had that stroke, bit of a wand of a left foot. He's gone, Miguel, next time we get a fucking corner, get up there, get your big fucking head on it and fucking score, you Spanish onion. So fucking lads are you've got, he's like having a go. I'm thinking, has he just called him a fucking Spanish onion? And you're fucking pissing yourself, like. You're thinking that, we fucking alright. There's old Miguel that speaks a bit of broken English, but what's he on about? And then we had another one who'd not been, played it League Cup, and it wasn't fucking telly. Thursday night, and we were playing on the Saturday away at Bournemouth. So he changed the complete team. He didn't want anyone playing Thursday night who were going to play Saturday, which is understandable. It's fucking stupid when you think about it, really, isn't it? So he changed them, so I'm on bench. And do you remember Daniel Jones?
Yes, with the tattoo on his chest.
Yeah, he had a tattoo on his chest. It said "Believe," right? But he used to wear these low-cut tops, and you could just see BEL, so it looked like Bell, which wouldn't be far off. You know what I mean? But he was a good lad, DJ, and he loved himself. He was fucking ripped, good-looking fucker, like fucking fancied himself through up birds and all that. And so I'm on bench, like fucking 70 minutes gone or something, and DJ comes fucking like, he's like hobbling the back. Comes hobbling over to fucking bench. Gaffer, I'm struggling. And Mego went, what with your fucking technique? Now fuck off and start running around. So he's fucking hobbling about, DJ. You're thinking, fucking hell.
With your technique.
So about 10 minutes later, he's gone down. He's had to come off, went for a scan. He'd fucking broke a bone in his foot. And Mego's and you know when you look back, you think, fucking hell. That's what Mego like. He was fucking funny, like, and he used to go off on one. But and it's funny that because I remember that game at Preston on Box Day, which we were on about with Spanish Onion. I'm in first. Neil Thompson comes in, who was our first team coach, about 2:45, and lads were in like a minute. He must have sprinted in. He says, Gaffer, lads, they're not on it out there. Warm up were fucking shit. Their passing was sloppy. So Mego's going, right, I'll have the cunt. So lads walks in. Right, fucking sit down, you lot. Fuck what you doing. Fuck your tape. Fucking sit down. So they're like, fucking listen, that's fucking dog shit. I was fucking watching. It's fucking not good enough. You've got to liven up. You pull your fucking finger out. You'll sat with me after 5 minutes. And fucking you, after last week's one, you better pull your fucking finger out. Fucking liven up. Not good enough. You're passing with shit. This. He's going on. I'm thinking, his fucking head's going to explode. I'm sat there, me thinking, fucking hell. So I've gone for a piss. Next minute, Mego's come and stood next to me. Fucking give me a nudge. Winked at me, went, that should liven them fuckers up. He could sort of have a laugh at himself, like, you know. But it was just some of the things he used to fucking say. And he'd be like foaming at mouth. But we got results and we got promoted that year. Dave Jones took over with like 12 or 14 games to go. But Mego got us in position to get promoted. He fell out with chairman Milan Mandovic. His last ever game, we beat Sheffield United 1-0 at Hillsborough. And I think he knew we were getting sacked because he fucking ran up pitch. Get it one of them to cop and all that, and then he got bullied next day. A great guy, but he's just probably from a different era now. But one of the managers that I sort of loved playing under because they were no great. For me, it were great. Weaves, get it, fucking shell it. If you try and pass out short, you're fucking off. It were one of them. There were no grey areas. There were none of this passing out bollocks. His philosophy were fucking get it up there, fucking win at all costs, and it were fucking great. Like, you know. I remember a time I just signed for Charlton, and we played you. Saturday tea time kick-off.
Stoke.
At Stoke.
Yes.
Did you beat us 2-1?
2-1, our squad winner.
You know that. And so he comes on a sub, didn't you?
Yeah.
And all crowd going beast and all that. And it's 1-1 at the time, wasn't it? They weren't long to go. One of my best mates, Paddy McCarthy, who were playing for Charlton at the time, and he sort of turned Paddy inside out a bit, wriggled past him and fucking twatted
I
one.
Megged him, actually.
Yeah,
you
stood him up, didn't you?
I put it like, I sort of made
I know
he
knows.
I fucking know it 100%. I made a little darting run into the box, and somebody slipped me in, and I've just fucking chopped it with the outside of my right foot through his legs, and I just slid it far corner. Boom, job done.
Obviously, it's gone in. And end of game, we've lost 2-1, and fucking Paddy's fucking spewing. Pards had a fucking dug him out a bit, give him a bit. And we're like, fucking, I've had a bit of a shit start to the season here, lads, because that was second game, I think. We drew first one at home to fucking Scunthorpe. You know, promoted to, you think, fucking hell. So we goes that night, we gets back to London, me and Paddy's like, fuck it, we'll go out. No, it's like fucking 10 o'clock back, fuck it, we're out. So we fucking gone out. And Paddy's like, he's fucking spewing, he's like, I can't fucking accept that, Weaves. I can't fucking have that for myself. I've just ordered a new fucking Range Rover. I can't fucking have it. I'm going to have to cancel it. I'm going to fucking cancel it. Monday morning, he cancelled his fucking Range Rover on back of park, he fucking turned him inside out.
What, you got a Skoda Fabia?
He got on bus. Must have been a low point in his career. But he was just spewing on it all night going, I can't fucking have that. I can't accept that. It's fucking out of order. He's fucking wriggled me inside out there. He's fucking done that. Anyway, I think he fucking uncancelled his cancellation next day. But yeah. And I remember the great man who's not here, the GOAT as he calls himself. I remember we played when I was at Charlton, obviously, against Preston. And we were like in and out playoffs. So Preston, so quite a big game at Championship at the time. And Alan Pardew doing his team meeting before. I don't think you started, Parky. That probably don't come as a surprise, but I don't think you started. No, I don't think you did, because I knew it was Brownie. And Pardew in meeting before.
I must have been, if he were playing in front of me, I must have been fucking injured.
You must have been that. Or suspended. And he says, team meeting, he's going, right, he can hurt us, fucking Chapel on wing and fucking blah blah blah, and I think it was Whaley on, would that be right, Whaley?
Yeah.
And McKenna, he's like, he'll pull strings, he went, they've got Brown up front, he went, you know, he's alright, but he's not really a goal threat. Anyway, we fucking lost 2-1, he scored them both. And they were fucking worldies and all. He's fucking dragged one, like, from behind him and then turned around and twat like Dennis fucking Burkett. It was brilliant, it were.
It's not really a goal.
But that was like Alan Pardew. If he weren't having anyone at opposition, he'd sort of tell you, he's like, fuck, I'm not having him, like. But then, I think it's dangerous to do that before a game. Especially with a forward. I never like saying their goalkeeper's not the best, because you'll end up having a worldie, like, you know.
So out of his fucking 7 career goals, he scored 2 of them last year.
They might have been his last 2 ever goals, you know.
Yeah, probably were. Nah, to be fair, he scored a few at Donny, didn't he? He scored a few at Donny.
Yeah, but I remember that and I thought, fucking hell. And that was one of the defeats that sort of dented our playoffs over, I think. But
I think your best times at Man City, Sheffield Wednesday.
yeah, Man City, obviously, I had 10 years there. So it was just, and I played in different eras there. I played when we were shit, but we had promotions, and then I played there when big hitters sort of come, your Steve McManamans, your Anelkas, your Peter Schmeichels, your Siemens, all them sort of great players. So I was there 10 years, there must have been hundreds of players come through the roundabout, if you like, as it were then. But yeah, that was all out of my career. 18 to 28, sort of main bulk of my adulthood as well, really. Yeah. So it was,
even though you were injured for 3
years, yeah. And but it was just great. And like I said, my biggest achievement, I think, we're getting back in team after I'd been injured. But, you know, wouldn't change anything about any of my time, even my injuries, because that's, you know, that card you dealt, and you've got to fucking get on with it, haven't you? And, you know, it is what it is. Things might have been different if I hadn't got injured, but sort of no regrets about that. And then, like I said, moving to Wednesday, just so to play at Man City for like 10 years and then to play for my boyhood team Wednesday, which I still work at now, it's just absolutely brilliant. And so when you look back, you don't appreciate everything until you finish. Obviously, Parky is still going, but when you take stock and look back, and you know, you just remember everything. And I'm so grateful for everything. That only thing I wish is my kids would have been a bit older to sort of see me play, because I don't even think they think I'm a footballer. Like, you know, I think my dad, the granddad, tells them bits and bobs, but they're not really that interested. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's probably the only thing that I would have liked. But yeah, some sort of great memories and stuff.
Arctic Monkeys are Oasis then, if you like your
Well, I'm going to see Monkeys next week in Sheffield.
But Chester Zoo.
Fucking hell, you've been waiting for that one. But to be fair, probably Oasis, because they when I was 15, 16, they were like a phenomenon. And, you know, I was lucky enough to meet them a few times and what have you. Yeah, so went to a couple of gigs and, you know, sat with them at games and stuff, and yeah, so brilliant. Yeah, I love them.
Always been into music as well as
yeah, take it or leave it with music. I like it, like a bit of 80s stuff. Sonic Time, my haircut looks decent. With Jason Donovan, quick curtains are going to be back in soon, you know.
I'm deeply dipping, that's all I'm getting. Right, said Fred.
As long as you're not fucking dipping it too deep.
Oh, we were superb.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, mate.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, lads, I enjoyed it. Come back next week if you want.
we'll get Chez Long in.
Who does he play for?
Is that fucking Shane's brother?
I'm going to say.
Cheers, Waves.
Cheers, lads.
Top man,
Thank you.
very much.